Well, I'm trying to get the lovely folks to build up your numbers because we have a lot to talk about today. I've had some delays. I've had some delays because of some technical problems, which had to be sorted out. But nonetheless, for those who have joined me, I'm happy that you're there, that you took the time to be a part of this program. It's a pleasure. I am eternally grateful for the fact that you made the time, you scheduled the time for us to interact, for us to get to know each other on some important issues. My lighting is a bit bad. I'm not sleepy. I'm not tired. I've rested well. It's just the lighting. So don't start getting ideas and be typing stuff. I appreciate your typing. I appreciate your comments. Continue to do that. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I want to know that all is well with you and that you are doing what is required for a good citizen of Guyana to do. There are a number of things that I'm going to be dealing with today. The list is so long. It's amazing. When I think about it, I ask myself, how can I really get to the bottom of it? But this is the best I can do. To get to the bottom of it, this is the best I can do. So how are we going to start things off today? I'm still shut down with my other Facebook account. I have no access to that, none whatsoever. They're still reviewing. So I guess that's it. I have to forget about that. Thanks to the PNC people. Let me rephrase that. PNC people who have in your numbers reported me, my account on Facebook, every video I do, every live I do, those bastards reported my videos. So Facebook got tired of them. And as a result of that, Facebook punished me. Oh, sorry, I gotta fix this. Yeah. Facebook punished me as a result of the PNC people nagging Facebook. Look, he's racial. Look, he's creating division. Look, he's cussing the Negroes. Look, he's talking about blacks, this and blacks, that. Look, he's calling people's name. Look, he's talking about the they and them and all these things. And he's telling Aubrey Norton he's ugly. And he's telling Nigel Hughes he defends criminals. And he's telling all these other people whatever. So Facebook got tired. Facebook was like exhausted. Mark Zuckerberg said, listen, Dr. Love, I got 99 problems and you ain't one of them. So the algorithm of Facebook, it's technology. People don't really do these things. And this is the problem with these social media sites, these apps. They have robots doing the work for them. Robots. They just write a code and they loose it on their sites. And these codes are rhythms. They're working with rhythms. That's why they're called algorithm. They're working with those kinds of rhythms. So they're targeted to pinpoint certain rhythms, certain words, and if they come across a multitude of these words in a consistent basis, you're flagged. So when everybody is the PNC people, when a life comes, they report it. So it's constantly hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting. So the algorithm, which is not a person, is not a human being, it's a robot, counted the amount of times, and that algorithm, that robot, decided that this particular profile has so many hits. When you reach that amount of hits, then it automatically sends the signal to block your access. So during the time that they block your access, they're going to now sort it out to see if the algorithm was correct. And it takes them 6 months to do that. But if you now physically protest and request a review, then is when an actual person or another kind of algorithm is going to take the case and then do their investigation and just do a double check. But if they have some kind of issues with you, like in my case, if they see that this guy is not politically correct, even though they review that, and even though the algorithm made a mistake, they will not correct it because they don't want that responsibility of making mistakes. Because there are a lot of times on Facebook, they sent me notification, they restricted my account, and I protested. Then they send the message after to say, we apologize. Our technology made a mistake. We have to correct it. Thanks for telling us. Thanks for this. But to shut down an account and for them to come back and say, we're sorry, you have enough information to sue them. And that's where chances are they do not restart your account. Because by shutting your account, you can lose business. You have a loss of income, a loss of traffic. You lose all of that. And that is the evidence you need to file a lawsuit for the experience that you had subsequent to being shut down. You have a legitimate claim for any court or judge to say, hey, Facebook, you need to correct your algorithms. You need to correct your robots. You need to program these things properly. So Facebook usually don't restore people's account because they don't want that stain of being made a mistake. So chances are I would not get access to that account again. So I have to start another one. I had to start another one, which you have there, which is Shoring Warner. But thanks again. I just had to get that off my chest because I'm still experiencing the after effect of the hatred that keeps coming from the PNC towards me. All the messages, even with the new account, they already start trolling me and sending me messages. And I said to them, but what have I done? I haven't done anything yet. I can't even go live on that one. And already you're hating? A few of them sent me messages. I'm not running for president. I don't get it. What are you guys afraid of? I'm not running for president. So why is it that Norton and these others are threatened? You have the PNC. They have a long list of cockroaches that are crawling around on the internet. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, X, and it's sheer propaganda. Sheer propaganda. And there are many. The things they say, the stories they come up with, and all of them have a similar talking point because they all have a similar sponsor, APNU. So if you have any idea, the machine, the nest that is against the current government, I'm sure President Ali knows that. Vice President Jagdeo knows that. And most of the people in the PPP, they know what they are up against when it comes to this propaganda war. I mean, the PNC, the opposition soldiers are many. They're like China. They are like the Chinese. That's how strong they are in their numbers that are constantly pelting these pebbles and the bullets towards the reputation of the PPP. There are many, but on the PPP side, we are just a few. We are just a few. But yet, they are afraid of us. Yet, they are afraid of us. We're few. How many loyalists? I mean, I'm talking about of caliber, smart, that can articulate, that can face whatever the PNC throws at us. How many of us are out there? You have a lot of conductors, pundit conductors, cashiers that are from time to time spewing this, spewing that, seemingly in the favor of the president. But they're wayside, they're wayside hustlers. Nobody takes them serious. Because today they're here, tomorrow they're there. They're flipping, constantly flipping and flipping. So what happened? The few that actually make sense, those are the ones that the PNC, the APNU are afraid of. Those are the ones. I happen to be one of them. And they're challenging me. They're challenging me, trying to play on my emotions, trying to play on my conscience. But this is what I'll say to them. They're watching. A few of them in that number is climbing. I understand I cannot expect to have thousands of views right now because this is my second YouTube live. It's not going to get like Facebook unless you that are viewing right now share this live, even as we are watching. Share it. Only then we can compete. Because the people who are on the PNC side that are continuing to do their lives and they're gathering a few thousand views, they're doing that for a while, for years. I just came. This is my second live. on YouTube. Second, look at the dates, you'll see. The first one I had no shirt on. This one I wore a suit. Share this live so that we can compete in numbers. So, let's talk about what matters. Let's get down to that. Why are they constantly attacking the soldiers of the PPP? Why? It is because the PPP attracts quality. The PPP attracts quantity. The PPP attracts the best crop when it comes to intelligence. So when the speakers who come out to represent the PPP, Norton and the others, they're getting a chill. And why do you think so? They're worried that the messages that continues to come out from people like me and the other brainiacs in the PPP is going to reach the decision makers in the Guyanese diaspora, in the Guyanese community. And those decision makers are going to educate the less academic fortunate to guide them on the way to the upcoming elections. Because we are not here to spew misinformation, racism. We're not here for that. We are here to deal with the issues. The issues. And that's what matters. Not emotional stuff and making this up and making that up and using some dead child to get political mileage. No. We are bigger than that. In the camp of the PPP, we are bigger than that. And when I say we, let me talk to the people who are sending me fake messages, in that the profile on Facebook that they're sending me the messages are fake profiles. They are pretending to be people they're not. I have always, since my teenage years, I have followed the works of Dr. Jagan. I have quoted from some of his works. I admire his personality, his statesmanhood. And when I learned as a boy that that president penned a few books, I was hooked. I was hooked on Chetty. Why? Because I'm a philosopher by training. Philosophy is how societies were founded. Everything that governs us, all the theoretical laws that governs us, came out of the mouth, from the mind of philosophically thinking people. Everything. It's all about the idea. You develop that idea. And Chetty was a philosopher. His mind was fantastic. It's a genius. The things he wrote regarding politics, direction. You can build your political career just reading Cheddy Jagan's books. The man was a genius. I was inspired. And I thought, words live forever. Books live forever. If you want to be immortal, be an author. Write something. Author something. But make a note. Type, write. That is what inspired me. Since I'm a teenager, started composing, writing throughout my life. Because of Cheddy. First president I was exposed to at the time that was an author. If he could find the time to write books, it takes patience and dedication and heart to be an author. Focus. It's not an easy thing. And he wrote many books. So since then, I'm a Jaganite. It's not now. So a lot of you who are trying to say that I have some ulterior motive promoting the PPP, what possible ulterior motive could I possibly have? What? I've said this before, and I'm saying it again. Nobody's funding me. Nobody. If I was being funded by the PPP or somebody in the PPP, the Indian community in Guyana, which are largely 99% PPP, the Indian community in Guyana, they are the business community. They own the Guyanese economy. Own it. If they were funding me, do you think I'll have some cheap lights in my home studio? Don't you think I would have the latest studio if they were funding me? Use your common sense. Nobody is funding me. Other than the very good fans, a few good fans who watch me online, who follow me on TikTok, who follow me all over on my platforms, they're the ones who from time to time, out of the kindness of their heart, sends love gift. I'm not running a church. I'm not saying send me a tithe, say your offering. No. They're good people who are kind-hearted, who just do it out of their own. Those people motivate me. Not the hardcore in the PPP. No. So I have no incentive. I'm doing this out of love for Guyana. And those kind people who demonstrate their love for what I'm doing and their support, not with their mouth, not with their mouth. They demonstrate their love and support for me with their substance. They showed that by their love gift. That's how come they show, or that's the message they want to say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to tell you I like what you do. I'm not going to tell you you're great. No. How can I help you out? How can I do that? And I tell them. So trolls that are online pretending to be Indians when they're blacks, pretending to be PPP when they're PNC, those trolls, those cockroaches, don't come with that kind of game. You can't catch me in no act. I am genuine. I love the PPP since I'm a teenager. and I start following politics. I never switched. Never. It has been consistently PPP throughout my life. Why now have I decided to dedicate this time and effort towards solely the PPP? Here's why. I watched 2015 and 2020 throughout. The mess that the PNC and their people made out of Guyana. I could not slap myself out of the hypnosis of them winning an election in 2015. I couldn't. I could not wake up from that slumber. I couldn't understand, how was this possible? How could the PNC and their coalition, whatever, have won by a seat margin, a seat difference? 2015. Something happened. Some fraudulent act took place then, because that's what they do best. They learn from the best fraudster, the king of rigging elections, the devil of election corruption, Forbes Barnum, left the details, instructions, the blueprint as to how you can rig an election. And Norton and the PNC now inherited that. That was the only justification for them gaining the position or the office in 2015. The only thing I could come up with. There was nothing else that is logical. So in that period, I saw the pain. I saw, as in see, the starvation. I heard the cries. I saw the disappointment. I learned of how many people abandoned their dream of the Guyanese vision to leave that country. There was nothing I could have done during that time. But I said in 2016, the next president of Guyana would be Irfan Ali. 2016, I said that on the internet, on my television shows, on my radio shows in Suriname. I said that publicly. And I started campaigning for Irfan since 2016. Every chance I get, I use my platform to promote him. Every chance I get. Leading up to the elections in 2020, I went full force. When Granger wanted to hold on to his accidental power, I used what I had to send my message around. When I heard of the Pompeo, Trump's Secretary of State, going to Guyana, I knew they would put pressure on Granger to, hey, give it up. Accidents don't happen twice. You accidentally became president in 2015. Don't count on it for 2020. So I went out and I did what I had to do. I also used my platform to support Donald Trump re-election. And I said, repeated the claims that he had repeated, And as a consequence, I got shut down on Facebook, on TikTok, around 2020, around that time. That time when I was shut down on Facebook, it was the same issue PNC people reported. Then Facebook had to compromise because of all the rules that came with censorship. So I got no chances then. Just, they did it again. This month, this last week, they did it again. Because we have another elections coming. Shut me down again. PNC people reported numbers. So I stood and stand with the PPP, not necessarily because of the presidential candidate, but because I followed the policies, the programs of Chetty, and I've seen it continued throughout the governance of Barrett Jagdeo. I've seen it intensified under our now President Irfan Ali, and I know it's going to continue to rise with Irfan's second term, because he is guided by the bridles of the policy, the principles of making Guyana livable for the working class, for the business class, for the senior class, for the baby class, for every individual within the boundaries of Guyana. That's the policy I stand by. And the only party that has lived up to that in a practical sense is the PPP. That grant of giving to mothers to help with their school, with their children, it was the PPP who started that in 2014. It was the PPP. When it comes to social programs, it was the PPP. When the PNC came in power, they cut all of that because they're looking at, if we cut these programs, they call it government spending. Yeah, government spending. They want to cut the programs that the PPP had for years that the Guyanese citizens deserved. They came in and they cut it. But what did they do with that money that they cut from the budget that used to go to the citizens? What did they do with the money? Did they build infrastructure? Did the money go towards doing something for the country? Did they fix the roads? Did they increase the salaries of the public servants? Did they subsidize the water, the electricity, and other things with the money they cut? They didn't. Billions they took away that the PPP had allocated as a policy towards the Guyanese people. The PNC took that away from day one. And they had it in a trust fund. They're all kids, you know? They're all kids. So the parents, the PPP, had allocated this money so that it can service the running of the family. The PNC came, and when I say PNC, I don't have time for all these names. They're like algorithms. I don't have time for that. I'm trying not to cuss. You realize so far I have not cussed. I ain't cussed yet. I have it written down. I'll show you. I'm not writing it, but I thought I wrote it. But I'm writing it now. Do not cuss. Let me put it there so I can see it. Do not cuss. So I'm not going to cuss. I will try my best to resist the urge to say F or MF. F, fun. MF, much fun. I'll try not to say that because it's before me. Do not cuss. So PNC supporters, lucky you. Lucky you. Dr. Love Persaud ain't gonna cuss today. Do not cuss. So they took that money out of the budget that the PPP always allocate for the Guyanese citizen. What did they do with the money? You all knew, right? All of you know. From day one. From day one. They raised the salary of their members in the government. Raise the salary. That's how they funded the exorbitant amount of money they earned during their term. It is by taking from the poor and give to the poor. You didn't get that, right? You didn't get that. I said taken from the poor to give, do not cuss, to the poor. Yeah. The poor people of Guyana that the lovely government, the PPP, always take care of. And after the poor people of the PNC found a way to rig an election, cheat their way into government, that money they give themselves because they were poor. They came into government for money. For money. That's the mentality of poor people. This is why you find in those black neighborhoods, it's the poor thugs who steal from poor black people. They're not going after the rich guy because the rich guy got a huge waiting for them. No. They're going after poor people like themselves. So the PNC are a bunch. Norton, he is impoverished when it comes to personality. Aubrey Norton is the most broke man when it comes to being handsome. Ugliness is like the slum. Handsome is rich. Ugly is poor. Aubrey Norton is poor because he's ugly. That's the definition. All the others, Nigel Hughes and all these other people, they're poor because of their personality, their mindset. The things they do is what defines them as being poor. Law and order is not their thing. That's how poor people think. They steal from each other. The PPP are rich, wealthy people, not just financially, not just in terms of wealth, but in terms of mind, character, love, peace, harmony, unity. The PPP are the wealthiest. I like to say that I'm a smart guy. I am one person who marvel in the reality that I'm smart. I'm an academic. I'm a genius. I'm a scholar. I like to brag. Because I'm on that platform, I am clever to be on the camp of the rich people. You see, I said before that I don't shake people's hand. I don't hug people. I have a special sanitizer if I shake people's hand. I don't do that. This is why I can't be president. I don't know what the heck, do not cuss. I don't know what is it that Irfan Ali, he's a hugger. He's a hugger. He likes to hug people. I mean, I don't like it. I would say, hey man, stop hugging so much. He likes to embrace women. He likes this to embrace women. It's nice. I like it too, but I prefer to do that in the bedroom, in private, because when I hug a woman, things start happening. So I don't want to be hugging women in public. And then those peepers, kind of PNC, they're everywhere. Everywhere. They're like, ew. Ew. Just a hug and look at him. Look at that thing there. Oh my gosh. Like, you are sick. No self-control. And you call yourself Dr. Love. Because what do you think Dr. Love means? A pastor? You think Dr. Love means a pandit or some priest? No, Dr. Love means a freak. The only thing on his mind is sex and women. That's what Dr. Love actually means. So if Dr. Love is hugging women in public, the way President Ali does, Dr. Love will be walking around with in front of him the whole day. And what you think will happen? I am going to lose all the votes from the men. I'm voting for you. You can't control that thing in your pants. You're a psycho, man. You're a freak. You hug my wife, you get a boner. That's why. So this whole thing with hugging and touching, I'm not down there. President Ali likes to hug and stuff like that. That's President Ali. So what I'm saying is, if I have to shake somebody's hand, I will shake the hand of the people from the PPP, like-mindedness. Because when a PPP member shakes your hand, let me be direct. I'm trying to sound politically correct. When I like shaking the hands of Indian people. I hug Indian people. Because when you hug Indian people, they release an energy to you of prosperity, of peace, of calm, of love, of admiration, of, oh my gosh, you're my brother. Indians release that to you. When you shake the hand of an Indian person, especially the business ones, their hands are counting money all day, every day. Busy. Money, money, money. That's the hand I want to shake. I want to shake the hand of the Indian businessman, because when I shake his hand, if his hand just counted $1 million, that stain is still in his hand. That stain is still there. Hey, buddy, don't go doing nothing stupid to say you're going to wash your hand. Come here, come here. Give me a shake. You can go wash now. I'm going to grab onto his hand and pull all that $1 million energy out. You get the point? I shake the hands of good people, prosperous people, peaceful people, progressive people, mighty people, smart people, because I want those energies passing through me. So their luck could be my luck. That's what I do. But the black people, if it's a businessman and I know he's clean and he's, you understand? But the typical blacks, I don't shake their hands. I'm being fair. I'm being fair with you. I can't see your lifestyle. You're on social media. You're not criticizing the unrest. You're not criticizing the robberies. You're not criticizing the chaos. You're not criticizing the lies. You're not criticizing any of that. You are commenting, cussing the PPP, cussing the Indians, inciting violence, inciting racial division. That's coming out of you. Why would I want to touch you? No, evil is contagious. It's a disease. It's a virus. That's why in the black community in Guyana, there is a continued pandemic of evil because they touch each other. And that criminal rubs off on the innocent boy. Before you know it, he is liming on the corner amongst them thugs. Before you know it, he gets a gun, joins a group, jump in the Chinese supermarket. He's 16 years old, and bam, the Chinese supermarket security guard shoots him to death. Black community. Don't touch them. Hi, bye. Don't touch them. If you don't know them, you don't know their lifestyle, you haven't observed the way they live, don't touch them. You're taking a chance because their evil can rub off on you. The next thing you know, from one disaster to the next, from one downfall to the next, from one disappointment to the next, your wife leaves you, your husband becomes a drunk, your kids drops out of school, they join gangs, your daughter is a teenage pregnant mom. You have all these issues. And you wonder if somebody did something to you. Yes, somebody did. The black people you're mixing with, they did. So keep to yourself. Meaning, stay within the camp of the PPP. At least you know what circle is there. You want to be nice to PNC people, you will face the consequences of their lives. Stick to what you know. Now, on this PNC note, Nigel Hughes, Aubrey Norton, you two have nothing in common. Nothing whatsoever. You both want to be president. You both don't trust each other. You hate each other. You are undermining each other from your two camps. What did you think? That the time will come when you can agree on something and decide that, hey, Nigel, you'll be presidential candidate. Norton, it's okay. You can take. No, it won't happen. Because you, the both of you, are black men, corrupt black men. And that by default means you can't work together. Black people don't unite when it comes to positive things. They unite for chaos, for looting, for protest, for public unrest, for hating the Indians, for discriminating other races. Yeah, for that, they come together. Evil in arms. But for something as unifying their divided party, coming together under one umbrella, ain't gonna happen. It will never happen because of self-hatred. Aubrey Norton hates himself. Every day he looks at himself in the mirror since he's a teenager. Every day he hates himself. What, you think he's going to like some other black person who wants to compete for his position? Look at how he treated, what's her name that died recently? Her name doesn't come to my mind, but you understand her. The woman that had to resign from the secretary of the PNC, general secretary. Look at how he treated her. And she wasn't black. She's only a woman. Yeah, somebody just let me know in the comment there what was her name. Amna Ali. Thank you very much. Look at how Aubrey Norton treated Amna Ali. Because she's a woman and because she's Indian. Look at how he treated her. How do you think he will treat his own kind? Of course he will treat them worst. Worse than the others. That woman left the party she helped build just because she could not deal with the hatred and the racism that was coming her way. Because of her ego, she stayed all those years, knowing that they hated Indians. Moses Nagamutu has no balls. Probably had a sex change. Because if he had balls, him and Kemrat Ramdatan, they would have never crossed over to the PNC. They had no balls. And that's exactly what I said. You see? This is why I said I'm a genius. I'll tell you why. I just said, when you touch the PNC people, when you hug the PNC people, when you embrace the PNC people, you are contaminated. And from therein, your entire outlook on life changes for the worst. Kemraj, Nagamutu, they made a mistake years ago, and they shook the hand of the PNC, maybe somewhere. And they caught the disease. What happened after that? They boycotted the party that made them who they were, the PPP, and they stepped over. Had they not touched, even looked upon ugliness, they would have still been beautiful men under the PPP flag. Look at all the PPP members now. Compare that to the PNC. Look at the vice president we have now, Jagdeo. Consider the vice president that they had with Granger. Two Indians, right? Nagamutu and Jagdeo. If Vice President Jagdeo takes his hand and slaps Nagamutu on one jaw, 15 minutes after that, his entire personality will change for the better. Beauty would be restored. All it takes is one touch from a PPP member. I beg you, President Irfan Ali, I beg you, don't ever shake the hand of Norton. I am happy back in what time it was, what year, when you reached your hand out to shake the hand of that idiot. Do not cuss. Okay, idiot is not a cuss word. When you push your hand out and you refuse, I'm like, thank you, Krishna. Thank you that he refused your hand. Because if Norton had accepted your hand, President Ali, then maybe he would have been transformed into somebody who was lookable, that you can look upon. But ugliness took a hold on Norton. Thank you. After that, it doesn't matter. But that was a turning point. So the PNC and APNU wants the Guyanese people to stand by them, even though they have no record to go on, no record. They can't agree on who is going to hit first. The two of them want this girl, Norton and Nigel Hughes. They want the girl, but the girl don't want them. But they're not bothered with that. They need to get the approval of the girl first, then to decide who goes first. They did not get the approval, but they're debating, fighting amongst themselves. Listen, Norton, I think she likes me. I'm going to hit first. You can go after. Norton is like, what? No. I ain't going to hit first. I ain't putting in no hole that you went. I got to go first. And they're back and forth. But the girl did not approve of either of them. The girl is saying to them, I have no intentions to leave my loving, caring, compassionate husband, President Ali. What are you guys doing here? What are you lurking around doing? Go find some hobby. I'm not interested. I already have a husband. And I'm going to have my second anniversary, remarry the husband in September. But they're still fighting. Thinking somehow that Obia would make this woman leave President Ali and consider those two. I have news for you. All the infighting within the PNC, dear Guyanese citizen, that is what you will get if any of those parties comes close, not just to the presidency, but the majority in the parliament. Guyana, the whole country, would know what it's like to be toxic again. Make Guyana toxic again if you people are irresponsible to say you're voting for PNC candidates. Don't do it. Don't do it. I would not use my time to deal with the beautiful things that are happening in Guyana. You are seeing for yourself. You are seeing, you are experiencing it. The ones who are not living in the country, you are seeing that all the time, every day. So now, I'll get to the next point. Really wish this is supposed to be dealt with today. Home Affairs Minister Robertson Ben, I call for your resignation. I call for the President of Guyana to resign the Home Affairs Minister. I am making an application for the Home Affairs Minister to be fired. He has done a very, very poor job since he was appointed. A poor job. Note I use the word poor. And it makes me wonder, is this a black thing? That no matter what party you are aligned with, it seemed like it is a genetic disorder that black people, yeah, that black people just can't function. I mean, Robertson Ben, if you don't know what to do, consult with those in the PPP who can advise you, help you, give you the kind of support you need if you are incapable of using your mind. Because from what I'm seeing there, you are absent when it comes to the functions of the minister within that ministry. You are absent. There is a breakdown of law and order throughout Guyana. You inherited the curse of the PNC 2015 through. It wasn't broken because what? You have, Mr. Ben, I get it. Maybe you have relatives and friends who might be a part of the PNC. I get it. But you have to cut ties. You have to cut ties because the Bible says, and I think you're a Christian, following Christ would cause division amongst families. Jesus said, those who follow me, they as a group are relatives, brothers and sisters. Your biological family are no longer your family. Why? Because you decide to change. You're converted. So, Mr. Ben, you have to turn your back on the ties you have with the PNC. You cannot be sympathetic to Negroids because you're black. You have to see them as the parasites they are and use the apparatus of your ministry, command the services to which you are overseeing to execute their duties without fear or favor. But so far, you have failed miserably. Miserably. From the time you were sworn in as a minister to now, crime hasn't dropped. People are still fearful. As recent as that man's place being burnt down, if you had given the right order, if you had influenced the right people to take the right position, they would have gotten the courage they needed to clamp down on these thugs and this thug-like behavior. But if you're compromising, you have this soft spot for Negroes because you're black, you make the government look bad. So if you know you are sympathetic towards black people, you should not have taken the job as minister. You should not have. You should have taken some other post or something like that. Or just be in the parliament as a member of the parliament, but not being a minister. But all the problems that are facing the Guyanese people are coming out of the camp of the people that looks like you. And you are not enforcing the laws to clamp down on these things. Elections is in 4 months. Look at what they're doing. Look at what is spewing out of the camp of the PNC. Listen to all their pundits online, what they're building up for. They are creating and now they're prepping those lowlifes in those ghetto communities for a big, this one will be uncontrollable. Lots of lives will be lost. And you sit back to wait until it starts, then to show up, say you calm the situation. How many lives have to be lost? You got to be proactive. Use your cybersecurity. Send the cops out to scan these neighborhoods, scan these people who are using social media to incite violence and racism towards the Indians. Scan them, arrest them, no bail. Tell them after elections they'll come out. Make these public announcements. If these people are residing in different countries, you have your State Department. You have your foreign ministry. Use your legal ministry to gain access to these people. But when you sit back and you allow this chaos to continue, guns everywhere, every night there's a shooting in some village, predominantly black village, kidnappings, carjackings, all these things are happening. It is sending subliminal messages to the decent Indians in Guyana who has no intentions to fight with a Negro. They just want to be safe. And if it means staying in their homes on election day to avoid being hurt, they'll stay in their homes. They're going to stay in their homes if it means they'll be safer on elections day. Where does that put you? Where? It is less votes for the PPP. If the Indians don't go out and vote, the PPP would have a lower turnout, which means a lower count. And the PNC, their thugs will go out because they're the bullies. They're the bullies. They're the ones driving fear in the Indians. So they will go out. And they're going to vote. They're going to vote for the PNC. They'll have a larger turnout of their people, while the PPP will have a reduced turnout of the Indians, because the Indians are fearful of possible danger, confrontation by the hand of the PNC thugs, the black people. They won't want to risk their safety. They will just say, well, as long as I can live and eat, I don't care who runs the government. We don't want people to be saying that. The people, the good citizens of Guyana, must be confident enough that it matters not what hour of the evening they want to patrol the streets. They want to just take a moonlight walk. They'll be safe. That's the assurance your ministry needs to give to the law-abiding citizens of Guyana. Not that they have to run in their house and have to shut their doors at 6 o'clock. And every time they hear a noise, they have to be like peeping out, wondering who's there. Every house has to put webcam, security alarm, dogs. What is it? What is it? Wild West. Guyana is a modernized country. These things should not be there. It's not an uncivilized country. It's a modernized country. Look at the infrastructure. Look around you, sir. Look around you. Look at the beauties of Guyana. Look at the beauties of Guyana. And what is making that country ugly is the black people who continues to terrorize the rest of the population. They walk around like junkies. They're not groomed. They're nasty faces. They sag their pants, and they have this rude, cruel looks on their faces. They're the ones who make Guyana ugly. Because when you go out and you see them, you Your heart start to race. You're thinking all of these crazy thoughts. Oh my gosh, if he comes to rob me, I'll just give him. Okay. No. People have to be able to come out with a smile, happiness, to shop anywhere, to wear any jewelry, to open their purses and pay for anything anywhere without having to look over their shoulder. You failed as a minister. It's on you. Just like the Vindaya Persaud, that her ministry has neglected senior citizens. You have people who have contributed their life towards the building of Guyana, and they're being sidelined when it comes to their pension. They have to wait for months and years. Vindaya Persaud, you're one of the persons that should be fired as well. Should be fired as well. Like I said before, it goes hand in hand. Home Affairs, Social Security, hand in hand. But you're both failures. Both of you are failures. 4 months before the elections. Human beings have a forgiving spirit. They forgive. They will not hold President Ali responsible for this. This is on you, Robinson Ben and Vindaya Persaud. It's on you. But you need to step up now or step aside. They can still have somebody to be installed as minister, even if it's 4 months, that can shake things up quickly. If you can't step up, step aside. But you have to provide adequate security for Guyanese, because there are lots of Guyanese abroad who want to remigrate to Guyana. And they have a lot of money. They have a lot of money. They want to go back home. They want to invest. They want to cultivate. They want to do things that can benefit. What can I do for my country? That's the idea and the motivation they're coming back with. While the typical black man in Guyana, his mindset is, what can my country do for me? This is why they complain and complain and complain every day. The PNC's motto is, what can Guyana do for me? That's their motto. But the Indian is looking for opportunities as to how he can make a difference for Guyana. And by helping the country, he is helped by the country. The blacks don't have the same mentality. This is why they complain about everything. Everything. You got to buy their stove, buy their gas, buy the pot, pay for their water, fill the pot, get the rice, wash the rice, put the rice in the pot, light the stove, put it on the stove, stay, watch it cook. Take the food out, take it to them while they're on their phones and in front of the television, and spoon feed them. That's the typical Negro from the ghetto in Guyana who cusses the government to sit around and be served as if they're special. As if somehow, whatever they think they lost during slavery, and they were not slaves, they're like third generation. But the 3 generations ago, when they were slaves, the ones now think that the Europeans at the time, who doesn't exist today, neither are their children, owes them something. And because the Europeans are not in control of Guyana, the next in line to bear the burden is the Indian. As if the Indian enslaved the black people. As if the Indians were the masters. So Robinson Ben, protect the good citizens of Guyana. It is enough with the crimes. Guyanese need security throughout the country. The biggest threat to Guyana is not Venezuela, are the ghettos and the evil cockroaches, those gutter rats that the ghetto produces. They're the biggest threat to Guyana because their mothers, who themselves were prostitutes, slept with gangsters and thieves and murderers. And if a prostitute and a murderer have sex, what do you think they'll produce? A law-abiding citizen? No. Genes. They're going to produce future criminals. And look around you. What do you get? Look at the age. 14, 15, 16. Committing crimes, murdering people. Look who their parents are. Look what neighborhoods they're from. And you get my point. So what in what I'm saying is not a matter of fact. Everything I'm saying is a matter of fact. Protect the decent citizens of Guyana. If you have to cleanse the country from those criminals, cleanse the country. If you have to drain the ghetto, spray those rats out, then spray the rats out. Build bigger prisons out of the city, away from civilization, and let them go there and fight amongst themselves. Bring the police and the military police together. Give them the order to use brutal force when they come in contact with aggressive Negroes. Not smiling and just getting involved in a word fight and discussion. No. Give orders once. After that, action. Give them immunity. Because when you have to go to deal with these criminals, they can have a concealed weapon somewhere. And you put the police's lives at risk. That's why a lot of Indians don't want to join the force. Because of them thugs they have to deal with. Imagine that. You are seeing how these Negroes are beating up on the police like them, harassing, assaulting police with guns in uniform. And the police have to restrain themselves, lest they go face the Department of Public, what do you call it? And then they can lose their jobs. And when they lose their jobs, they lose all benefits. So the police have to have self-control. The Indian is watching that. And he said, what? I'm going to go join the police force to have to deal with those Negroes, and I can't use my weapon to protect myself and my colleague? I'll go to business school. And I'll build a business, and I'll hire security guards to deal with them niggas. Negroes. Because it's not attractive. This is why they don't want to join the force, because they are restricted, they are censored. Zip. Keep their hands to the side. While them Negroes are coming in their faces and thinking weapons, and give them, especially in this time, because you could have enforced the COVID laws against wandering, crowd gathering, assembly. Look at all the lockdowns that you had. Look at all of the rules that were in place during the COVID period. And there was no kind of threat then, but you had all of these martial laws around that time. And now any lunatic can get up and say he's going to protest against President Ali and get 200-300 people, and you sit back and tell the police, just go control the crowd. It's democracy. Let them, they have a freedom to assemble. Bullshit. Bullshit. Bring back the laws you had for COVID. Stop protest. Lock it down. Investigate all of these people on social media that are continuing to spew violence against Indians and other races in Guyana. Call out the decent black people that are not speaking about it and against it. But at the end of the day, if you can't function as a Home Affairs Minister, step aside. President Ali, you need the Indian votes. Don't screw this up. You need the Indian votes. They may not vote for the PNC, but they might well stay home in protest for you not giving them the security they need throughout your administration and your term. Don't distract people with all the fancy things you're doing. You don't have to show it. We're seeing that. Everybody know you're the greatest president. We know that. Don't rub it into our face. Deal with the security problems in Guyana. Deal with it. Instruct this Home Affairs Minister to do his job or step aside. Otherwise, those 50,000 plus Indians around the world who want to come back to Guyana, starting from now, and stay there until elections so they can register and vote for the PPP, they're going to cancel their trips. You lose. And the PNC people, they're there in Guyana. Those in other countries, they live in people's basement. They can't come. They can't have GoFundMe for tickets to fly to Guyana. And even if they fly to Guyana with using their credit card, it can't sustain them for 3 and 4 months. They have to just in and out quickly because they lose their jobs. They lose their benefits, or their visa application or whatever application would be expired. They can't leave. They're hiding right there from Trump. So they can't leave the country. So Norton and the PNC can't count on black people coming to vote for them. They will have to sponsor them. And like I said before, GoFundMe is not to sponsor political events. No. They're using it for political events, trying to get money on that dead child's name, but it's not for that purpose. The Indians who have the resources, who have been saving all their lives, they put the money aside, they put their budget for their tickets, they have relatives back there that can stay in, they can stay in their house. They want to come to Guyana to give their support to the party of Chedi. But they are afraid, President Ali. I'm done with Ben, man. I'm done with Ben. I think he's a loser. I'm done with him. In my closing remarks, President Ali, this is on you. This is on you. Bharat Jagdev is not the president. You are the president. I know if Bharat Jagdev was there, this crime we have there will not be as it is. I know that for sure. President Ali, you are either a president or a priest. Decide. You are either a president or a politician. I mean, a politician or a pastor. Decide. You are either the chief of the commander-in-chief or the Meiji. You decide. But to Guyanese, You are the commander-in-chief. You are the president. You are the head of state. Those are political positions, not religious appointment. So take out the heart and the emotions you have for these Negroes and be a mechanical man and say, hey, man, enough is enough. I want zero tolerance across the board for crime and criminals. The military and the police, I need from this point to work together until I decide when it's okay for the military police to go back and play with themselves in the barracks. But for now, throughout Guyana, every police station, the military police and the civilian police must be working together. And everyone that is arrested for violent crimes in that coalition should not be tried in civilian courts, should be tried by military judges in military courts. No bail. Have a good weekend. This is Dr. Love Persaud saying, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of the program. I invite you to share. It's important that you share this live. Follow me on TikTok. It's Dr. Shoreen Warner on TikTok. Shoreen Warner on Facebook. That's a new account. Let's build it up. And subscribe to this channel here on YouTube. Let's surpass them losers on the PNC side, because I need to keep the Indians together. I need that for the longevity of the Irfan Ali's government and his second term. I can't allow the PPP supporters to be distracted and undecided. Let us get in every home, on every phone, on every laptop, in every country where the PPP supporters resides. Subscribe to the channel. As you watch, click subscribe. And all the lovers of Dr. Love, you will have to send me messages on Facebook. I don't know how this YouTube thing works. If you can message on YouTube, I don't know. Or TikTok. You can send me on TikTok. And I can tell you, if you have intentions to support, maybe get proper lights or whatever, then I can tell you. I cannot give my private information online because hackers are there. But at the end of the day, the last thing on your mind should be your love for Guyana and your love for the current administration and our current president. See you next time. Monday at 5. Bye now. And this, how does this work? Yeah.